I don't think that's worth $6,800.
$6,800 for a clock?
I don't think so.
I'm Matt, senior correspondent at Business Insider.
I'm Rich from the YouTube channel Rich Rebuilds.
And today we've got a 2019 Rolls-Royce Cullinan, the pinnacle of luxury SUVs.
And today we're going to find out, is this thing actually worth $410,000?
Whenever I get in a car like this,
Right.
I always start to look around and say, okay, well, I'm in a Rolls-Royce now. It's supposed to be incredibly amazing and opulent inside. Yeah. So where did they cut corners? What did they not, like, what's not up to the level of what I would think of for Rolls-Royce?
What do you see
where's
so far?
Where's the plastic?
Right.
You know? Well, I mean, the visors.
Right.
Look, the visors are a little bit like, well, maybe this is from the BMW parts bin.
Right.
Right. And there's some little bits and pieces of plastic here and there, but for the most part,
I think it looks, I think
the
it
whole
looks good
thing
so far.
is pretty beautifully executed.
Right, no,
absolutely. I'm a big fan of the interior here. The interior
the
has
interior
won me
a lot.
over. I think the interior is worth $410 grand.
You know what I think is cool? The digital analog gauges look kind of cool.
Yeah, and everybody loves the power reserve instead of the tachometer.
That is kind of cool too.
So I'm on the power now, so I'm depleting my power
so you
reserve.
You have 80%.
Right.
left
So it's the
power.
reverse of a typical tachometer.
Yeah.
Where instead of it showing me the engine speed, it's showing me how much
power you have
I'm
left.
drawing.
Right.
Exactly. So we're supposed to have a 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds here. So we're going to see if we get more or less 0 to 60 in 4.5. 1,000.
Oh, yeah.
2 1,000. 3 1,000. 4 1,000. I got 4 seconds.
It gets up and goes.
I got 4
For
seconds.
sure. 500 and what, 60-ish? What kind of horsepower?
563, I believe, is the
horsepower.
official number, with 630 pound-feet of torque, something like that. Yeah.
I wish it was more.
To be honest with you, I was thinking the same thing. If maybe you could complain a little bit about the horsepower, and
Right.
I, like you, I might say this is not
nice.
quite as much as I'd like to get out
Right.
of it,
little more.
But I like having all that torque.
Right, no, the torque's great.
Like, I'm not going to complain about the torque, because you do want to have that sense that the thing could just keep going and going and going and going and never strain. And you've always got some torque that you could go grab and have it do its thing. Now I'm enjoying my time behind the wheel, as I always do.
Right.
In a Rolls-Royce, because I like the thin steering wheel.
You do?
I do. I love the steering wheel.
I thought there'd be like bolsters there. That doesn't seem right to me.
I totally dig the thin steering wheel, and I always feel like, although, yeah, you're right. You're very. It's not like you drove over here in a pretty snazzy Corvette,
Right.
which did not isolate you from the driving experience.
No, I felt every bump. I felt every person yelling at me to tone it down. I just everything, I felt everything.
Yeah.
This car, I feel like it's just doing all the work. You're just sitting down.
No, exactly. It's extremely relaxing. It's a meditative experience. I really, really like driving Rollses for just this reason. And this driving experience is completely singular. I've driven probably half a dozen Rolls-Royces,
Right.
and this is the feeling you always have in them.
It's so quiet. It's so quiet.
You don't hear it.
Like, I haven't heard anything on the outside. Anything.
Yeah.
I barely hear cars driving by.
Yeah.
I do want to figure out one thing. What packages do they have available? Because what's the retail on this thing? Was it $410? They said.
This is 410. This vehicle,
410.
the way we're testing it, is 410. So it's
Okay.
$325 to start.
All right. So let's see what other options. So the paint is an $11,500 option.
Yeah, and I was a little disappointed with the
I
paint,
didn't
actually.
think that was great. So, like, me being the cheap person that I am, I could save money right there.
There
Like,
you go.
instead of saying paint gunmetal, I would just say paint, yes. So let's see. One of my favorite features of this car, by the way, it's the lamb's wool floor mats.
Yeah, nice.
Those were $1,500.
Yeah. Worth every penny.
I think it's a must-have. So let's see. So there's contoured. Let's see what contrast seat piping. $4,000. So I think if you want to get the orange stitching on the seats,
That's $4,000.
that's $4,000. Is that hand stitched? This car handmade?
Yeah, probably is hand stitched, actually.
And then there's the technical bespoke clock, which is that's I don't think that's worth $6,800.
$6,800 for a clock?
I don't think so. I mean, I have a nice watch I could probably just use for. I mean, you buy a nice watch for less
That's
than
right.
that,
That's right.
I'm a cheap guy. Let's see what else is there. The rear theater configuration. I think it's like the TVs in the back for $8,000. I'm not sure I would do that. These are a lot of things I'd probably.
What about the picnic benches back there? The fold-down picnic.
How much for
benches?
those? The fold-down picnic benches, I think those were $4,000.
$4,000.
So if you want like little benches at the back of your seat, where your rear seat occupants could kind of just have a picnic back there.
Yeah.
They'll cost you
Have a little
$4,000.
prime rib.
Yeah, exactly. Then your car's smelling like food. You don't want that. You don't want the car smelling like food. No way. I'll tell you one thing. Out of any Rolls-Royce I've seen so far, I think this would be the one I would probably purchase.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a Phantom guy. A Phantom?
Not a Phantom guy.
I can't drive a Phantom.
I'd get a Phantom. I mean, I think the more time we spend in here, and we haven't been spending, hours and hours or days and days in the car, we'd find some.
We'll start picking it apart.
We would find some additional things to complain about.
Which
I'd
is
find more things outside the car to complain about. Like there's some
absolutely.
chrome that's slapped on out there.
Right, yeah, go and see, take a look at that.
It's a little, seems like it's a little plasticky and a little cheap. There's some plastic stuff on the front, on the fascia that's, I think, a bad choice.
Okay.
Yeah, what do you think about the overall design?
Great design. I think it's a phenomenal design. I think the rear end is very simple. And there's no Cullinan badge on it, which I like.
That's nice, right?
It's like you get it. It's a Rolls-Royce. You don't have to rub it in my face. It's a Cullinan. I respect that.
Yeah.
One thing I don't like about the front end is that I wish the front end didn't remind me of a Ghost.
Uh-huh.
It's not as present as the Phantom, obviously.
Yeah.
It's very Ghost-like. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But you could tell that it's, they kind of copied some cues from there, which I guess is fine. But I wish it was a little bit different from the SUV. That's all.
Interesting. I'm a little, it has 22s on it, and I think it could go bigger.
I agree.
I think the wheel wells could be filled up with a bigger wheel. And if I were going to order it, above and beyond the 325, I would definitely want bigger wheels. Yeah.
But no, this is definitely something different.
Yeah.
They've done a great job of making a statement, but also it's very simple on the outside. The taillights, the rear end of the vehicle.
That's a good point.
It's very simple. It's very sedated, but still the presence is very big. I think this is one of the best looking SUVs available right now. But there is a Range Rover that is pretty good looking as well.
All right, Rich. $410,000 Rolls-Royce Cullinan hyper luxury SUV. What do you think? Is it worth it?
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say no. This is not worth the 410. I would say it's worth the base price of 325. 410, no way.
For me, it's not a $410,000 car on the outside. It is a $410,000 car on the inside. I mean, when I'm in that car, I feel like I'm in the lap of luxury. It's uber luxury, hyper luxury. It's very much the Rolls-Royce experience in there. Got nothing to complain about. It's extremely quiet, and yet this big V12 motor, you've got that, serves up the goods if you need it, but you're not hearing it roaring away or anything like that. That's really just very Rolls-Royce for me. But not 410 on the outside, definitely 410
Well, like a 350 on the outside.
Yeah, 350 on the
I'd have
outside.
to agree.